Timmy loved adventures. He was always the first to volunteer for any kind of exploration, whether it was a new path in the village or a hidden corner in his own backyard. But his favorite place to explore was the woods near his home. He loved exploring the woods near his home. The woods were a magical place for Timmy, filled with the sounds of chirping birds, rustling leaves, and the occasional sight of a deer or a rabbit. Every day he would find something new and exciting. The villagers told stories about the woods. They spoke of ancient trees that had stood for centuries and of hidden treasures buried deep within the forest. These stories fascinated Timmy and fueled his imagination. They said the woods were dangerous. The villagers often warned the children to stay away from certain parts of the forest, especially as the sun began to set. They spoke of wild animals and treacherous paths that could lead one astray. They whispered about a dark shadow. This shadow was said to roam the forest, appearing only to those who ventured too far. It was a tale that sent shivers down the spines of many, but not Timmy.
"Be careful, Timmy." The elders would often caution him, their voices filled with concern. They knew of his adventurous spirit and worried for his safety. "The woods are full of dangers," they would say, hoping to instill a sense of caution in the young boy. But Timmy's curiosity was stronger than his fear. "There's a dark shadow that roams," they would repeat, their voices hushed as if the shadow could hear them. But to Timmy, these warnings were just another part of the adventure.
But Timmy didn't listen. He was brave. He believed that the stories were just that, stories. He had never seen anything to make him think otherwise. One sunny afternoon, Timmy decided to explore deeper into the woods. The sun was shining brightly, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. It seemed like the perfect day for an adventure. He walked past the familiar paths. The trees grew taller, the shadows grew longer. The deeper he went, the more the forest seemed to change. The air grew cooler, and the sounds of the village faded away. Timmy heard whispers carried on the wind. They were faint at first, like the rustling of leaves, but soon they grew louder, more distinct. It was as if the forest itself was trying to speak to him.
What could be hiding in these woods? Timmy wondered aloud, his voice barely more than a whisper. The stories of the dark shadow came to his mind, but he pushed them aside. He was determined to find out the truth. "I have to find out," he said with resolve. His heart pounded with excitement, and his steps quickened. The whispers seemed to guide him, leading him deeper into the unknown.
He wasn't scared, he was excited. The thrill of discovery was too strong to ignore. Every step he took brought him closer to the heart of the mystery. He ventured deeper, eager to uncover the secrets hidden within. The forest seemed to welcome him, its whispers growing louder, more insistent. Timmy felt a strange connection to the woods, as if he was meant to be there, to uncover its secrets. A large oak tree stood in the middle of a clearing. Its branches were covered in leaves, even though it was autumn. Timmy had never seen a tree like it before.
"Hello?"
Well, hello there.
Timmy jumped back in surprise. The voice came from the oak tree. Its eyes opened slowly. They were wise and old.
I am Ollie. This forest is in danger. A dark shadow is spreading, making everything sick.
"What can I do?"
You must find the Hearthstone. It's a magical stone with the power to defeat the shadow.
Ollie told Timmy where to find the Hearthstone. It was hidden in a secret grove, guarded by a stone lion. Timmy set off on his quest. He wasn't scared. He had to be brave. He finally found the grove. It was a beautiful place, filled with flowers and sunshine. But in the center stood the stone lion, its eyes closed. As Timmy came closer, the stone lion's eyes opened. They glowed with an eerie light.
Answer my riddle and you may pass. Fail and you will be trapped forever.
Timmy listened carefully as the lion spoke in riddles.
I'm lighter than a feather, but the strongest person cannot hold me for long. What am I?
Timmy thought hard. What was lighter than a feather but difficult to hold? He looked around the grove, desperate for a clue. That's when he saw it. A small acorn, glowing with a soft light, lay beneath the lion's paw. He remembered what his grandpa used to say, "Time waits for no one."
"Time!"
The lion closed its eyes, satisfied. The glowing acorn pulsed once and flew towards Timmy. It landed in his hand, warm and comforting. The acorn glowed brighter, leading Timmy through the grove.
I followed where it pointed.
The air grew cold, the trees looked sick.
I finally reached a dark part of the forest.
The shadows were thick here, like oily smoke. He could feel them watching him.
I was scared but held the acorn tight. Its warmth gave me courage.
He had to find the hearthstone. He had to save Ollie and the forest. The acorn pulsed again, guiding him towards a clearing shrouded in shadow. In the center lay a small stone, pulsing faintly, the hearthstone.
The hearthstone.
As Timmy reached for it, the shadows attacked. They swirled around him, trying to drag him down. He closed his eyes, holding the acorn tight. He remembered what Ollie said about the hearthstone. He had to believe in its power. He had to believe in himself. He held the acorn high and wished with all his might for the shadows to go away. The acorn and the hearthstone burst with light, blinding, beautiful light. It was as if the very essence of the forest had been awakened from a deep slumber. The light was not just any light, it was magical, pure, and filled with an ancient energy that seemed to breathe life into everything it touched. The shadows shrieked and retreated as the light touched them. They seemed to dissolve into the air, leaving no trace of their dark presence. The forest, once cloaked in darkness and despair, was now bathed in a radiant glow that chased away every last bit of gloom. The light spread through the forest, pushing back all the shadows. It moved like a living entity, weaving through the trees, illuminating every nook and cranny. The forest floor, which had been covered in a thick layer of dead leaves and decay, now sparkled with newfound life. Timmy watched in amazement as the light healed the forest. His eyes widened with wonder as he saw the transformation unfold before him. It was a sight he would never forget, a moment of pure magic that seemed to last an eternity. Trees that were once bare sprouted new leaves. The branches, which had looked like skeletal fingers, were now lush and green. The leaves unfurled like tiny flags of victory, celebrating the return of life to the forest. Flowers bloomed in every color imaginable. Reds, blues, yellows, and purples painted the forest floor in a vibrant tapestry. Each flower seemed to sing its own song of joy, adding to the symphony of life that was now the forest. The air was filled with the sweet songs of birds. They chirped and sang, their melodies blending together in perfect harmony. It was as if the birds themselves were celebrating the return of the light, their songs a testament to the forest's rebirth.
Wow, it's beautiful. Timmy's voice was barely a whisper, filled with awe and reverence. He could hardly believe what he was seeing. The forest, once a place of fear and darkness, was now a paradise of light and life.
The warmth of the light filled Timmy with joy. He had done it. He had brought the light back to the forest. His heart swelled with pride and happiness, knowing that he had played a part in this miraculous transformation. He had saved the forest, the trees, the flowers, the birds. All of them owed their new life to him. It was a responsibility he had taken on, and he had succeeded beyond his wildest dreams. As quickly as it had come, the light faded, but it left behind a forest that was forever changed. The darkness was gone, replaced by a vibrant, thriving ecosystem. The light had done its job, and now it was time for the forest to continue its journey on its own. The hearthstone was warm in his hand, pulsing gently. It was a reminder of the power he had wielded and the responsibility that came with it. Timmy knew that the forest would always need its guardians, and he was ready to be one of them. Timmy returned to Ollie, the hearthstone glowing softly. The old tree looked happy and healthy. His leaves were greener than ever.
You did it, Timmy. You saved us all.
Timmy felt proud. He had faced his fears and saved the forest. He was a true hero.
The hearthstone must always be protected. It must stay here, in the forest. You, Timmy, will be its protector.
Timmy knew what he had to do. He agreed to protect the hearthstone and the forest he had saved. Timmy became the protector of the forest. It was a role he never imagined for himself, but one he embraced wholeheartedly. The forest, with its towering trees and whispering leaves, had always been a place of solace for him. Now, it was his responsibility to keep it safe. He visited Ollie every day, sharing stories and learning the secrets of the woods. Ollie, the ancient tree, had seen centuries pass and had wisdom beyond measure. Timmy would sit by Ollie for hours, listening to tales of old, learning about the creatures that called the forest home, and understanding the delicate balance of nature. He made many new friends. Squirrels, rabbits, even a grumpy badger. Each animal had its own story, its own personality. The squirrels were mischievous, always playing tricks on Timmy, while the rabbits were gentle and curious. The badger, though grumpy, had a heart of gold and often shared his wisdom with Timmy.
Hey there, Mr. Badger, how's your day going? Timmy would often greet the badger with a smile, knowing that beneath the gruff exterior was a loyal friend.
He knew the dark shadow could return, but he wasn't afraid. The shadow was a remnant of an old evil that once threatened the forest. Timmy had faced it before and knew that with courage and the support of his friends, he could face it again. The forest had taught him that true strength came from within, and from the bonds he had formed with its inhabitants. He had the hearthstone, the love of the forest, and most importantly, he had the courage to face any danger. The hearthstone was a magical gem that radiated warmth and light, a symbol of the forest's heart. It was a gift from Ollie, a token of the forest's trust in Timmy. With it, he felt a deep connection to every tree, every animal, and every blade of grass. Timmy's adventures were far from over. Each day brought new challenges and new discoveries. He explored hidden groves, uncovered ancient relics, and even discovered new species of plants and animals. The forest was vast and full of mysteries, and Timmy was determined to uncover them all. He was no longer just a boy who loved exploring. He had grown, not just in age, but in spirit. The forest had shaped him, teaching him the values of bravery, kindness, and respect for nature. He had become a guardian, a protector, and a friend to all who lived in the forest. He was Timmy, the protector of the forest, brave and kind. His name was known to every creature, and his deeds were celebrated in songs and stories. He stood tall, with a magical aura that radiated confidence and compassion. The forest was his home, and he would do anything to keep it safe. And the forest, bathed in the warmth of the hearthstone, was filled with magic and wonder once more. The trees glowed with a soft light, the air was filled with the songs of birds, and the ground was carpeted with vibrant flowers. It was a place of peace, a sanctuary where every living being thrived. Timmy knew that as long as he was there, the forest would remain a place of beauty and magic.